Falcon and the Winter Soldier is right around the corner. You may be watching this video once the episodes have already started dropping, but the big question is, who is the villain? Or is it one big bad villain, or is it multiple smaller villains? We are going to be covering leaks that date over a year ago, all the way up to current time. We're going to figure out who actually is the villain or the multiple villains of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Welcome to the Multiverse, everybody. My name is Jimmy, and let's dive into this. Let's start off with the biggest question on the table, and then as we get to the end of the video, we'll go over some potential villains that could end up in the series or some that people want in the series. We're going to start off talking about Omega Red. That is the focus of the video for the most part, and it also gives a way to introduce mutants into this series, directly into the MCU. It has already started happening with things like Monica Rambeau and WandaVision, but we're going to get more and more clarity as we go until it's just a given. The X-Men and the mutants are in the MCU. Well, what better way to tie that in and start to kind of bolster that idea than introducing a mutant villain? That's right, Omega Red. This is a villain that could pretty much take the entire show on with Sam and Bucky by himself. I truly feel that. And a lot of people are worried that we're not going to get one big bad villain because it's only 6 episodes, and people were a little upset with how WandaVision ended and we didn't get that secret reveal of a next level villain. Well, hear me out about Omega Red, and before we get into him, we are giving away your choice of a PS5 or an Xbox Series X at 25,000 subs on the channel. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed with your notifications fully on, including your YouTube notifications. Drop a like on this video and leave a comment with your Twitter handle. You can enter on every single video. Good luck to everybody. We'll pick a winner at 25,000 subs. Now, let's talk about Omega Red. Maybe you're familiar with him, maybe you're not. Let me give you a little backstory. Omega Red, otherwise known as Arkady Grigorovich Rossovich. We could go AGR, or we could just call him Omega Red. And just picture this. A super soldier, basically like Captain America, but with a twist. So powers of Omega Red, other than being a mutant, he has super strength, super speed, durability, agility, reflexes, self-healing, all that stuff that you're familiar with Captain America, but there is a twist, okay? He also has death spores. That's right, he secretes death spores, which they drain the life force of victims in his vicinity, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it really is if you think about it, but it doesn't stop there. We talked about the ties to mutants and how Omega Red would make sense to bolster that in the MCU. Well, he has a direct tie to Wolverine. If you've ever read the comics, these two went at it multiple times. They even fought for 18 hours straight. Now, and some would consider him a knockoff version of Wolverine because he doesn't have adamantium running through his veins, but he does have carbonadium, which in all essence is a knockoff version of adamantium. I believe it was put into his body with the intentions of trying to clone or copy adamantium, and it didn't work. So if you research, it's not as strong, it's more malleable, but it is still considered pretty much indestructible. And what he uses it for is he has these tentacles that come out, and he's not Wolverine, if you will, blades, but he does have tentacles. So knockoff version of Wolverine in that sense, and kind of an equal version with a twist to Captain America. That makes him a very formidable foe. Now, if you read the comics, there are versions that have clones of Omega Red. There's Omega Black, Omega White, and Omega Red. The Omega Black is a female with chest tendrils that can come out of her chest, and actually, she can cause cancer to people, which is that's just crazy. Omega White can create energy constructs, and Omega Red is basically a clone copy of Omega Red, which doesn't really make sense to me, but it is what it is. And he has also been introduced on screen. Not technically in the MCU, but now that MCU and Disney owns everything via Deadpool, he was actually a prisoner in the icebox in Deadpool 2. So we could technically say that he is part of the MCU indirectly, because we know Deadpool is going to be part and all that good stuff. The multiverse, that's a video for another day. So that is Omega Red, okay? Definitely could be a series-ending villain for Sam and Bucky. I 100% think that. And I know people are worried we're going to get a bunch of small villains and we're not going to get one big baddie, but I think Omega Red makes sense in multiple ways. Not just because he would be a formidable foe, but the connections to mutants, the connections to the X-Men, the connections to Wolverine, and the connections to Captain America. Those all make sense for me that he could end up actually being a pivotal part of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So you let me know what you think about that. Now, I did say we were going to go over some other possible villains, big, small, and you guys can let me know what you think. Now, it's already been confirmed that Flag Smasher will be in the series. We've actually seen her in teaser trailers. We've seen that part of it. So there's not a lot to talk about there. Other people are wanting to know, where is Arnim Zola? Now, I assume that Arnim Zola was destroyed when he was unplugged, but I don't know. There's people thinking maybe he'll make a cameo or somehow fit into this. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Now we have the terrorist organization that's already been confirmed. That's Ultimatum, which was founded by Flag Smasher, which makes a lot of sense as well. We've already talked about Omega Red. We all know Baron Zemo is obviously the puppeteer, the orchestrator behind the whole thing, but I don't consider Zemo a big bad villain. I just don't. He's more of the orchestrator and making things happen, but I don't put him at that upper level. I know he's the face as the villain, and there's going to be points where he's actually helping them and misdirection and all that, but let's just move past him. It has been confirmed that Batroc the Leaper, I don't know if you guys remember him, Batroc, he actually had a fight in Captain America the Winter Soldier at the very beginning. Martial arts guy, really, really cool guy, and he will be in the series as well. But the other one that I kind of want to see happen, but it's probably not going to happen. Well, okay, hold on. Let's talk about U.S. Agent. Let's talk about John Walker. We know, I said knockoff version of Wolverine. Here's your knockoff version of Captain America. And somebody made a quote. Picture John Walker as the Homelander version of MCU. We all know he's going to start off being the government's version of Captain America. We all fully feel that Sam will end up with that mantle when it's all said and done. But we also know that that's probably not going to last. And John Walker is probably going to end up being an adversary. He's going to be against Sam and Bucky at some point in the series. I truly, truly feel that. But the one reaching theory, and it's a long one, but it could happen, is HYDRA Supreme. That's right. Now, there's always rumors about Chris Evans coming back to play Steve Rogers. We actually have a video up talking about that. But there are people talking about how they would love to see Evans film some quick parts. Maybe it's a post-credit scene as the HYDRA Supreme. If you don't follow the comics, this was an alternate version of Steve Rogers where he was actually an agent for HYDRA, which actually helped create the entire HYDRA empire. This would blow people's mind. Now, I know we've got the introduction to the multiverse, but we're still very, very at the beginnings of the multiverse, and I just don't see them shoving that down everybody's throats. But if they did, if this was a post-credit scene where Steve Rogers, aka Chris Evans, actually showed up as HYDRA Supreme Cap, it would literally bring the roof down. It would. So it's probably not going to happen, but it's fun to talk about. And there you have it, my friends. Those are basically our options. Obviously, take it all with a grain of salt, and Marvel may switch things up in a bigger way, and we may not even know it. But I know there were people disappointed at the end of WandaVision. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I truly, truly feel Omega Red has a really good spot in this series. You guys let me know what you think. Thank you for everybody that supported and joined the channel, and we'll see you soon.